So, my name is Shayel Nava, and I've hosted the last three emotional abuse euphorias. And I put these on because there's so many people out there who are in these abusive relationships, whether it's with a parent or a child or with a spouse or a partner. It could be anybody at work, and people are right now in desperate need of inner peace. It's so important to be able to function right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We are stuck at home. We are in a place where our minds just need to be expanding and we need to be functional. And so I did this because right now there are so many people in the world that need to have this healing, that need to know how to recenter and to know how to refocus so that the quality of life doesn't get diminished, even though the way we live it has changed right now. So the last one that I've done is inner peace. And the first one we started with was identifying the red flags of emotional abuse and knowing exactly what to watch out for. We focused on toxic personalities, and I had 21 speakers that spoke about all of these different aspects of emotional abuse so that one can know if they're being abused. So the second summit I did talked about how to heal in different ways from emotional abuse. And this last one was pretty much the culmination of all three. So I'm so excited to have everybody here who hopefully most of you, you can tell me in the chat box if you've seen one, two, or three, or all three, but to bring it all together. So again, for those of you just joining us, my name is Shayel Nava, and I've done all of these summits, Emotional Abuse Euphoria. I'm the host, and I'm so happy to have you on. Welcome tonight. Thank you for taking the time out to join us. And we're now going to focus in on achieving inner peace and how to get there without effort, without too much concentration, because when you're coming in out of the space where you've been emotionally abused for so long, your mind is just zzz, and you really can't focus. It's so difficult to know exactly how to get back into yourself, get back into your body. So the first thing I wanted to do was announce the winners, but I see that we are still coming on. So let me just start this way. I'm going to go over the speakers in the last summit. We spoke and heard from Richa, and Richa spoke about using these ancient techniques that she learned in India, and she spoke about other techniques that she incorporated later on during her years of experience, personal experience, and also healing through other modalities. So she spoke about combining a three-step process to live on purpose. And when you're living on purpose, by default, you get inner peace. So when you're living on purpose and you have inner peace, all of a sudden everything makes sense. And all of a sudden there is no, well, a little secret, there is no fear. Because suddenly you know why you're doing what you're doing in life. And if you're so sure about what you're doing, suddenly the fear disappears. But that's another story, and that's for another webinar. In this one, it's inner peace. So when you're living on purpose, you get peace. We heard from Michael, and Michael talked about loving your entire self. And what I found in just particularly exciting when he said it was that you have to love the parts of you that normally aren't lovable. And many of us think of all of our less than perfect parts of ourselves. And he said, love yourself anyway. So love what you don't love, love what you hate, love that you're angry, love that you just, the idea and the concept was enlightening in that all these things are a part of you, and you are important and you are special. And the only way to really get inner peace is to be at peace with all the parts of you and loving that to the maximum. Okay, then we have Dr. Levine. Oh, he was such a special guest. I was so happy to have him on. See, Dr. Levine, he's internationally renowned somatic experiencing. And he was one of the first that said, look into your body. So many of these echoed that. Lots of speakers echoed that. But Dr. Levine, he started this. I would like to say he was one of the founding forefathers, if you will, of this. And he said, okay, let's go into our body and locate the trauma. You can feel it. Yeah, even if you don't know it, you don't remember what age it happened, but you can feel it. It's here. Or maybe I can feel it. Oh, it's here. I always get these headaches. I got this trauma that's stuck right here in my third eye, if you will. Or my shoulders. I have this constant shoulder and neck pain. Whatever it is, you can locate it. And when you locate it, and you can gently get that out of your body. And in doing so, as you locate it in your body, your mind starts to produce certain certain responses and certain newly learned responses, because there's a connection. Your body learned to store that tension during some trauma. So if you release it in your body, it therefore goes back up here. And he spoke about that. And then we had Bob Roth, who spoke about transcendental meditation. And he said, your body wants to balance itself. You can get inner peace if you just allow your body to just go do what it does best and balance itself. And so you can learn that, and from there you can get inner peace at any time, right? They teach you how to do this. They'll tell you how to take 20 minutes. And that can be hard when your mind is spinning. But when you get the technique down very well, that 20 minutes, it's like I went for my lunch break. I had lunch, right? And I just wanted to digest a bit. I'm going to close my eyes, and suddenly you're there. So it doesn't have to be, it gets much easier when you know the technique. Evelyn took us on an actual experiential journey. Evelyn did the drums, right? And so whoever enjoyed the drums, whoever likes to listen to those beats, that'll take you your brain training, the brainwave training. And so that's wonderful. That takes you right in, and that'll help you just get into a almost hypnotic state where your mind it's far, right? It's far from your problems. And so when your brain goes into that place, it's kind of that place, the brain waves that are between wake and sleep. So it's very exciting to know how to do that, and to even play if you know musicians, or you have a recording of something like that, that's just this continual beat that repeats itself. Kali spoke about family constellations and helping teachers and children to feel supported and not alone to gain inner peace. And last but not least, not by a long shot, there's Dr. Lisa. And she helped us reconnect ourselves through touch. She said, touch your solar plexus, and another hand on your pelvic bone, close your eyes. This is how you remind yourself that you exist, that you're here. Touch, feel yourself, breathe. So you're as worthy a person as any other. That's her message. And that's also, that message is also mine. It's so important to remind yourself that you are deserving of a beautiful, happy, fulfilled, on purpose life. And believing that is the first step. And it's something that we need to learn to do when we've had the message for years that we're not worthy, that we're not enough, that we're not good enough. And when you hear these messages from people who very often are irrational, very often they're dreamers, very often they're just speaking out of their own imagination, and it has nothing to do with you. That's when you need to know and to remind yourself, to retrain yourself to recognize your worth and your value. Because when you have that, you can begin to love yourself, and you can begin to achieve the inner peace. So Dr. Lisa talked about a step-by-step process to guiding you through her book club, right? Because she wrote this amazing book. just step by step to getting to that place. And it's a journey. It's a journey that's baby steps, but you can get there. So my first question, I guess, to all of you is, who did you resonate most with and why out of these 8 speakers? Okay, put it in the chat. I'd love to see if you can turn your cameras on. I want to see you. It helps me connect with you. See what's going on. Okay. All right. So some people have not heard the session. Cecile says she hasn't heard the sessions prior. That's okay. Not everybody was able to watch them. I understand that. Those of you who have the a little bit more about what I'm talking about and understand. Those who haven't now just got a sneak preview. Okay. I also wanted to announce who won the 5 free packages, the inner peace packages. And so I wanted to just let you know right now who those 5 were. Okay, hang on. Those 5 people were, drumroll, Pilau, Lori, Stephanie, Mary, and Nancy. Okay, those 5, contact me at Shael at Emotional Abuse to Euphoria. And I will also be writing to you myself, or one of my team will be writing to you and letting you know that you won that and giving you access to the package. So congratulations. That's very exciting. All right, let's start off with a little bit of breathing. Okay, first let's before we go into the breathing, I'd like to know, does anybody have any questions? I'm unmuting you if and I'm going to ask you if you would like to be unmuted, actually, because I love to hear from you. So let me know. You can unmute yourself as well if you have any questions for me while I'm here before we start with the breathing. Yeah? Okay, I just see iPad. I don't see a name here. Who's this?
Hi, I am Chris.
Hi, Chris.
It took me a while to come in. I'd like to know, how do you know if you have been emotionally abused as a child?
That's a
I'm
wonderful
sorry,
question.
it sounds very primitive, or really a question that probably somebody will say, well, but what is someone to look for or to direct the attention to identify that?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. I'm glad you asked that. So many people wonder and they said, oh, I don't know if I was actually abused as a child. But when you think about your childhood, anyone can do this. You go back to your childhood and wonder, today, okay, today, when I think about my childhood, did I feel safe? Did I feel like I could tell my parents anything and they would accept me for it? Did I feel lonely? Did I always try to get the attention of my parents? Because when you do these things, and if the answer is yes to any of these, you know that you weren't getting the nurturing that you deserved as a child. And very often, when you grow up in a situation like that, you'll find yourself just starving for attention and love. And people who are abused as children will attach themselves naturally to those who pay attention to them. And it doesn't matter if it's positive attention or negative attention. They're looking for connection. And so you can know if you've been abused as a child because you are almost thirsting for this. You had no water. You're in the middle of a desert. And most likely, if you feel this way, and if you feel like you're just holding on to relationships, even though you know they're not feeling good, your gut's telling you're not healthy, most likely you were abused as a child in some way, shape, or form. Does that answer your question?
Actually, it does. And I don't want to be the one who jeopardizes the group, but this brings me to my next question. Does that mean I have always been an individual who looked for, up to this time, I'm what, 65, but social relationships, connecting with people is like, as you said, the water that I need to live. However, I have learned over the years that I'm become more and more selective of the relationships that I like to get myself into, friendships, collegial relationships. But certainly, I do recall as a child looking to develop connections. So I don't know if that is, I was missing that connection with my parents, or that is, I am more on the social spectrum of the individual. I don't know.
Okay. So children are naturally social creatures, people in general. So being social is not an indicator. However, it is an indicator if you feel like you're not okay being alone. And you don't have to answer that. Of course, this is a public forum. So privacy, it's for everybody to think about. Um, if somebody has been abused, or even as an adult ends up in an abusive or toxic relationship, they're not going to feel too good alone. They're usually going to feel uncomfortable in their own skin because they never, as a child, had the chance to form the healthy sense of self, an identity that's necessary to be really comfortable spending time alone. And very often, the focus is outwards. And when somebody is coming from that place, they want to take care of themselves very often, but they don't know how, and very often end up getting lost in trying to find somebody to take care of.
Okay. And I have always wondered the question, feel comfortable in their own skin. And of course, English being a second language of mine, I always wonder, what do they really mean when they say that? Do they mean feeling self-assured? Do they feel you have a bone of your own? What does feeling comfortable in your own skin means the way you're using it?
Mm. Feeling comfortable in your own skin is a reference to being at peace. Brings us back to the topic here, right? It's a reference to being at peace with yourself, with who you are, with what you're doing. There's a sense of knowing where you begin and end. That's being comfortable in your own skin. When you're not, a person would tend to go and try to serve others and extend themselves so far beyond their comfort zones. They could literally hurt themselves trying to help somebody else. They'll do things that are inconvenient for them. They're just not comfortable in their own skin, so they're constantly seeking the approval of others. And while they're doing it, they're trying to make others happy. They're pleasing them, right? They're trying to please them. And that's when they're not comfortable in themselves. They're seeking approval from outside.
That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome. Okay, pleasure. Okay, so let's move on here. I want to just go on to the next one. Lori, welcome. It's good to see you. You're one of the winners of the Inner Peace package. Thanks for hopping on, and I'm very excited to send that to you and give you that access. Okay. Right. All right, so let's see now. We just spoke about the 8 speakers in the last conference, and right now we have a daily routine. So I wanted to ask everybody about their daily routine. See, peace isn't a destination. A lot of people think, oh, my life will be peaceful one day and it'll stay that way. No, it doesn't happen that way. Peace is a journey. It really is. It happens with intention. It happens when you're living in a way that you respect. It happens when you know what you're doing is right. And you know that you feel what you're doing is right in your intuition and your gut. And it has nothing to do with what anyone else tells you, no other feedback externally. It also happens with each little action that you do during your day. So the focus of today was, okay, how are we going to get there? How do we do it? And what does my day, how does it reflect on the peace that I have inside me? So my question to you is, what do you do daily? So think about what you do daily and what is your motivation for doing it? Think about when you wake up in the morning, what your checklist is, right? What do you do? And where you go, and your work, okay, or your daily activities, whatever they may be. What do you do? And what is your motivation for doing it? And pay attention if your motivation for doing it is a negative reason. Okay, I'd love to see in the chat if any of you would like to write down, share what you're doing and why you're doing it. Anything from your day. Doesn't have to be very personal, just anything at all. Everyone's so quiet. All right. Oh, okay. We're getting some feedback. I'm going to take this off. It's itchy. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lori. Okay, so we have Bob Roth. Okay, some of us here I see are familiar with Bob Roth's meditation. That's great. Off to a good start. Journaling. We'll get to that. Okay, Jenny says journaling. Have coffee. All right, iPad. Okay. I don't know your name. It just says iPad, but coffee. We can all relate, right? Coffee is really, really popular. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So the question is like, why do we do these things? Okay. So why do we meditate? Why do we run for the coffee? Yeah. In the morning. And why do we journal? What is the reason for that? What does it do to us or for us? What does it help us to accomplish? Okay, pray and take a bath. Yes. I love these answers because these are great. We can work with those. Okay. All right. So these are important. When you pray, you wake up in the morning, praying is definitely beautiful and highly recommended to just start your day off with either an internal prayer or an external prayer. Just something for you to center yourself and feel like you're connected with the larger universe, right? And our source of peace and power. So praying is a great way to start your day. I love these answers that you gave because they're not typical. Okay, coffee, yes, coffee is very common. But a lot of people say, I run and I check my email or I check my phone. I see who called, or I missed a call maybe in the evening, I got a message, or they just run and to start their day without even stopping. So it's important to start your day with a meditation or a prayer. If you want to journal, that's fine to journal in the morning if you have the time. A lot of people have to go to work quite early or start their work quite early, even if you're working from home, or they have children to take care of. In these cases, obviously your time is limited. So the recommended amount of time is 10 to 15 minutes. When you're still in that groggy state, your eyes are still kind of opening and you feel like, okay, I don't want to jump out of bed right now. So don't. It really is that. Don't. Why? Your body and your entire being at that point, it's not just your body that's groggy, right? Your mind is groggy, everything. Your soul is coming back to you, if you will. It's healthy to take that 10 to 15 minutes and just stay put and meditate, pray, journal, right? Your most creative things will come out in journaling at that time when your mind is in that state. And that will help you start your day off on a very positive note. Even when you're praying, you might get answers at that moment because you're in that place that you won't be in at 12 noon. So that's one way to start your day off on the right note, on a very peaceful, positive note. You start your day off with a prayer, with a meditation. Look out the window. Highly recommended, by the way. If you have a bird's nest or a tree, or you're looking at some form of nature, if you're not, obviously, if you're in the middle of an urban area, maybe less possible. But there is always some nature, even if it's the sky and the clouds, to just focus on and connect to, and just contemplate for a moment. If you're the kind that likes to contemplate the complexity of that piece of nature, that it exists, that it blesses you, that you are a part of it as much as it's a part of you and our world that we live in. We just couldn't exist without the external world, right? We get our food, our water, our air. All of this is important to remember that we're a part of a greater purpose. Okay, simple acts to remind us that we're part of a greater purpose. And this will help with the inner peace. Any questions about that? Okay, to stay sane, I love it. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's another little tip. If you do something for 60 consecutive days, it becomes a habit. So for those of you who that's new information for, I recommend trying a small little change in the morning, even if it means setting your alarm 10 minutes earlier. It won't affect you so much the rest of the day. You won't even notice it. In the beginning, it might be a little, any new change is uneasy in the beginning, but then it becomes more and more natural. So fight the urge to fight yourself with that. Just set that alarm clock and say, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go. This is going to be my personal challenge today, tomorrow, and the next day for 60 days, and it will become a habit. So if you've picked up a good, healthy habit, practice that. And yes, it'll start your day off better, and you'll reach for that phone a lot less. You'll look for that computer, that email a lot less, and you'll have a healthier habit. So there, a lot of people also, I find, do things out of, because they feel a negative reason, they feel pressured. I get up in the morning and I take care of my kids because I know if I don't, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Like if I don't, right away make my husband that coffee, he's going to yell at me. Or if I don't right away serve my kids, they're going to start screaming, or they're not going to be at school on time. Or if I don't X, Y, and Z, whatever your reason may be, if it's a negative reason, that's a red flag. As I said, make sure that your morning routine is full of positive reasons for doing things. If you're doing things for negative reasons, you're going to, the natural consequence will be, I feel pressured. I feel stressed. I'm starting my day. You don't even have a chance to start your day, really. You're starting your day off just, you're going 0 to 50, right? So really important to start your day off with like little habits that are all based on positive, happy things that are going to start your day off well. Your children, your husband, all of these people are important, granted, but yourself has to come first. You need your fuel. You need your sanity and your equilibrium in order to be able to give. So definitely start yourself off first on the right note, and then that 10 minutes can make all the difference of how present you can be for your partner, your spouse, your children, your parents, whoever it is that's with you right now. Okay, so the next thing was, I wanted to go into, okay, your daily routine. We talked about the morning, we talked about meditating, we talked about, keeping those brainwave states. I would like you to either write down any creative ideas or say aloud what you're grateful for in the morning, okay? Just say what you're grateful for. Think about what you're grateful for. Pray about what you're grateful for. Have a gratitude list. You know what? Read it off like a mantra. Start a gratitude list. I'm healthy. If you're healthy, I'm grateful for that I have a roof over my head. It could be something that we don't think about it. So start a gratitude list and read it off in the morning. Post it on your wall. I'm serious. You want to look at that, make it pretty, whatever you want to do. Make sure you just check it in the morning, every single morning. I'm happy for these things. Because you'll always find something to be unhappy about. But the things that are happy about, refocus. Oh, right. That, yeah, I know that's happening. Yeah, this is also happening and just as relevant. So breathe deeply, gently, move your arms. You know, when you're in that meditative state in the morning, you're still laying in bed, gently wiggle your fingers and feel, just focus on wiggling your fingers, your toes. Move your arms in a flowy motion if you can. Just move your body and focus on the part that you're moving, one part at a time. Okay? Arms, fingers, toes, legs. Hold yourself and rock yourself. Okay? Hold yourself and rock yourself. How long does that take, you think? Maybe 10 seconds? You can count to 10 or don't count. Rock yourself. It's so comforting, and it's a natural, it's a position, the holding yourself like this and rocking yourself with your legs cradled. If you can do that physically, it's a very protective, naturally instinctive position that's comforting. Children naturally go into it. Babies are in utero in it. Hold yourself, and you'll instinctively, automatically feel more at peace and more relaxed. So you can do that at any time, but especially in the privacy of your morning, in your bed, in your room, or in the evening. Okay? All right, so in the afternoon, as we said, focus on nature. Okay? You're not going to be able to do all these things that we mentioned for the morning and the afternoon. Most likely in the afternoon, it's going to be the bigger connection about how nature contributes to our web of life. Okay? Of course, you're welcome to read the comics. Okay, if you have a lunch break or if you have a moment in the afternoon to pick up comics, watch a comic video on YouTube. Um, Comedy is so beautiful. Why? Why? Because it makes a joke of the things that normally would stress us out, and suddenly there's a funny twist to it. And when you have a funny twist to something that's a normal stressor, suddenly you can actually literally caricaturize almost all of life. Okay? I'm not minimalizing pain here at all. Okay? So don't think I'm saying, oh, the bad things that happen to us, we can just make fun of them. No. And yes. Okay? They're very real and they really hurt. Okay? At the same time, perspective, if you can laugh at something, anything at all, suddenly it doesn't hurt so much, right? Okay? To the point where I can have a fight with somebody who I'm very close to and I love, and it hurts terribly. It hurts like my world is falling apart. I might go and cry. But then, if I imagine somebody else who's outside of the situation looking in on it, maybe everyone's muted, okay? And they're just watching the situation. It may appear funny. Why? Maybe, let's say, if it was over something trivial. Okay, oh, we had this horrible fight over forks. Which fork are we going to use for the? I don't know what it is. Okay, make it up. But it could actually appear funny from a third party perspective. If you can do that and take a third party perspective, it might not seem as serious. It might not seem as intense. It may actually appear funny. That's not in every case, obviously, but if you can do it, do it. Find as much fun and humor in life and as you can. Very often the comics will make a joke of politics. So yeah, politics are a big right, for everyone. So if you can see, pick up the comics and make a joke of it, that will help you find more peace with that, because we don't know what's going to happen in the world and our country and everything. So laugh as much as possible. Okay, I don't want to drill into that like anymore. I think everyone understands where we're going with that. As much as you can, stay away from the news. Stay away from self-pity, because the minute you go into self-pity, you're giving up your power. Okay, if you start saying, God doesn't want me to be happy, or I, I'm here in this horrible marriage and I'm stuck, or whatever it is, and you start to feel sorry for yourself, suddenly you feel like you can't do anything about it. And that's giving up your power. That is actually an illusion. There is no situation, as long as you're alive, that you are stuck in forever. Okay, it's a story that we tell ourselves because we've committed to something, or because we feel like dedicated, or because we've invested so much energy into it. Take this in. We've invested energy, so we feel stuck. But the truth is, every single day that you wake up, that's a new day, is a new opportunity. You can do whatever you want with your life. That's the truth. And if that message gets internalized, oh wow, oh wow. The problem then becomes, what can I think to do? And why would I do it? What do I want to do? Suddenly that stress becomes excitement and peace and opportunity. You've just changed your perspective. It's like this, right? I was so scared and I felt like I had no hope. And every day I had no fun. And I could only look forward to a fight or a scream or being yelled at or a conflict or being criticized or put down or dehumanized or whatever it is. And suddenly you change a small shift. And suddenly it's like, wow, what do I want to do today? What can I do today? What do I like to do? And let me do that, and you know what? If somebody has a problem with me being happy, that's, I don't accept that. That's not my problem. Is it? I want to be happy. Sometimes we care too much about what other people think, and we say, oh, if they don't want us to be happy, we're not going to be happy. We choose to not be happy because that would make somebody else unhappy. But inner peace is all about being happy inside with who we are and what we do. It's so important to do what makes you happy, to choose to do it, and to say, I'm okay with what I did because I know it was the right thing to do. My gut is okay with that. My gut, my intuition is saying, yeah, this is okay. And if somebody's unhappy with that, most likely your gut's going to tell you, that's not okay. Why should my so-and-so be mad at me because I wanted to take a walk now, or I wanted to eat something specific, chocolate, whatever it is. Okay? So it's very important to remember to take the time to do what makes you happy. No self-pitying, and stay away from the news, and no connecting your worth to the opinions of others. Acknowledge that it hurts and know their outbursts or their irrational behavior, their tantrum, etc. It is their own craziness, and you do not accept it on you. That's not your craziness. We all have our own stuff, right? And that's just what makes us beautiful and human. We have our own peculiarities. Every single person has their quirks. And that's not a bad thing. And that's not something that we should feel bad about. That's a beautiful thing. And I would embrace your quirks. The next thing is, even if the other person doesn't own their stuff, okay, you know it. You know it. It's not yours. It's not you. It's not a reflection of your worth. Okay, so now I want to give you a worksheet, and I'd like to share that with you, and I'd like you to make a copy of it, because this is the practical stuff that you should have in your back pocket. So let's see if I can get this to you. Hang on. All right, you see that link? All right, so that link, if you click on it, you can make a copy of it. Let me know when you've opened it, yeah? Just give me a yes in the chat box if you've opened it and you made a copy so that you can type in it.
Not yet.
You might need to sign into your email account, whatever it is. Your computer itself may be requiring that to open up this. It's a Word document. So I may be able to, let's see. Hang on. I'm happy to actually upload it here. I'm going to see if I can do it. If you're having trouble with that, then take this. That's okay. Here you go. See if you can download that now. If your computer's not letting you, this is the option number 2.
Let's see. Is that Dale?
Inner Peace Docs. Are we all set?
No, I am not. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
And I don't know why I have no access. I cannot access it. Is there any way you can send it in a Word document?
Yes, it's attached here in the chat. If you
It's
click
the
on
same for
it.
me here. My name is Anne, and I can't either get a document. Can't you send it by email?
That would be great if you could, Shale.
The chat here, when you click it to open, does it open for you? What happens?
No, it doesn't.
It should. It worked for me. You just click on that and it should open in a Word document.
I guess for me, it asks me for the password, and password, I don't remember it right now. It's incorrect. So
Not on the Google Doc, on the one where it says right below that, where she said it says innerpeace.docx. That everyone should be able to open. I have a Mac and I don't use Word, but I can still open that. So it shouldn't matter what kind of computer you have.
I am on a tablet, and it really, see what I see in front of me though. I don't see nothing but the link, the original link, Drive Google Doc.
No, go down
Okay, below that.
Yeah, below that.
There is nothing else in my chat after that.
Nothing from it should be under from me to everyone. Myself, it says innerpeace.docx.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's see. If
I don't see that.
I don't see it in the chat. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to see if I can email it to you real quick. I'm not sure if I can do that through here, because usually when I send the program I use is a newsletter, and this would be one. Okay, so let's see, how can we do this?
That's weird because there's no reason it shouldn't be there.
I just have the link, and then I see Lori, not yet. It said need a connection with email. That worked, thanks. That's about it. I have
right
nothing.
below there. Can you
right
scroll
below
down?
that? It's the next message.
Not.
No, I don't have it either.
I don't.
Do you have a sidebar that you need to scroll down on the messages?
I do try. There is nothing more. I cannot go further down.
I'm on an iPad. I don't have.
It's the same for me. It's the same for me. I can't come in. That stands on the document. You can't come in.
Okay, so this is all right. So I'm going to just copy and paste the first question here into the chat. Tell me if everyone can see that. That's question number 1.
What are my biggest energy drains? Write them down and be specific.
Okay.
So if you were able to see that, you should have been able to see the.
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay, so all right, so you have the question. Everyone has the question here, and if you can open the Word document, it's just that much easier to type in the answer for yourself. But if you don't, then you can copy and paste this onto any writing program. So it could be Word, could be text, could be Notepad, whatever it is. But keep this for yourself. Write down your biggest energy drains and be specific.
Can you give an example to,
I'll set the timer now for, let's say 2 minutes. I'm setting it like literally on Google. So in 2 minutes, we'll just come back and we'll discuss.
Yes,
2-minute timer. Starting now. 1.5 minutes left. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, 20 seconds, and then we'll get back together. Okay, time's up. I got the time switch told me 2 minutes is up. So the biggest energy drain. So you need to know what they are. You've all written them down?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Yeah. Okay, so relationships are number one, okay? Relationship, absolutely. Okay, more than work, more than, not, more than trying to figure out what's the right thing to eat. Relationships top the cake, really. So we have, and we're living close quarters with everybody right now. So you need to know your biggest energy drains, and I'm glad that you've written them down. Relationships with our children, especially right now, many of them are being homeschooled, and those that are still that go to school also come back with all kinds of new, um, interesting things to present to us that have been instituted since the pandemic started. So, okay. So the next question is, well, before we go to the next question, okay, if there's noise in the background, let's just mute, please. Okay. So write down the 3 things now that you can do right now that would help you feel calm and peaceful. Okay, remember, we can't change the people that we're having issues with, but we can do things for ourselves, little things or big things that will help us feel calm and peaceful. The important thing is that you can do them right now. A minute for that. Okay, so anyone want to share one of the things that they would love to do right now to help them, that helps them feel calm and peaceful?
I think those 3 things, because they're all pretty short, is meditation, because that's really my number one. Bob Roth is so calming. Taking a bath just escapes me from the world. And eating right. When I eat wrong, my whole, you are what you eat. And I feel so much better when I eat right, but it's so easy to want to just grab junk.
Yes, I think who can relate with that, right? It's easy to grab junk. It's, you can relate. Yeah.
I guess for me, it is try to change my perspective on the situation. Either it is a relationship with my sibling, either it is a relationship with my husband, when he drains me with his impulsive and not tidiness, not being orderly, but he has so many other beautiful qualities that I can just catch myself, shift my mindset right there and then, and focus on what great qualities he has. That's one. Change of perspective. The other one is just deep breathing with a short walk to create that boundary, that distance that I will need to calm myself and find my inner peace. And always try to be grateful, come up with other things that are going so well in my life right now that I need to put my attention to rather than letting my sibling, for instance, drain the heck out of me, or that my husband messed up the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. So these, I'm going to address what Lori said. Lori, thank you for sharing what you did. And I'm going to just mention that healthy eating is really important. We already spoke about meditation, so I'm not going to comment on that right now. But healthy eating is so important because if you feed yourself all that junk food, your body will naturally produce hormones that will not allow you to function well. So you just won't be at peace simply because of the food you eat. So that's a great place to focus on, of course, healthy eating. And okay, and so what you said here just now, okay, I don't know your name. Can you please tell me your first name, because you shared such a beautiful thing also. iPad is listed.
Yes, Chris.
Chris, okay.
With Y, yes.
Chris, okay, hi, thank you. So Chris, yes, walking in nature, wonderful. So you have that available to you. That's great. Definitely do that, because yeah, when you have that thing going on with your husband, it's important to be able to just turn around and say, ah, that's it. You know, let's just pause, stop, whatever in the middle, and oof, out. Just go get that fresh air. And the breathing exercises, absolutely. The breathing exercises anywhere. And in fact, I'm going to do this with everybody also. That's going to be coming up shortly. So anyone else want to share these? This is wonderful. I love it.
I do have a question though, Shayla. As far as healthy eating, it is critical, absolutely. But how do you manage when you are so upset and you're so charged with negativity and the draining the energy? How do you manage? Because healthy eating, it does take mindfulness, it does take the effort to shop for healthy whole foods, time to prepare them. So how do you, what suggestion do you have when you are drained? The vampires drain the heck out of you and you have no energy left to get in the kitchen and prepare those wholesome foods?
Yes. So it depends on your budget. Okay, if you have a very low budget, that's one thing. If you have a medium or high budget, there are catering companies that will just there's new they'll send you your food. They'll send you really healthy food, and you don't even have to. If you can afford that, you can literally order it. Like you can order it for a week. They'll give you a week's worth of food, and you can freeze part of it. You can also make a day to prepare the food. For example, a Sunday is a good day for a lot of people to just prepare for the entire week. You prep the food so that you know if you just are feeling like awful, you feel like crap and you don't want to get out of bed most of the week, you know that at least on Sunday you prepared everything for the week, and most of it is just a matter of just then popping it in the microwave or heating it up, or just putting it, it's already made, so it's wrapped up and it's there. You just take it out and eat it. Okay. So there's a day of prep, or there's like catering service, or you can just keep your food really simple. I mean, it's making a salad is probably the most complicated thing you could do. And it's also a very healthy thing to do if depending on the quality of fruit and vegetables you're buying. But soups are easy and great to make. So you don't need a lot of effort for that. If you've just on a time that you're feeling good, anytime it is, if you have a moment in any day, say, I'm feeling good right now at this moment, that's a great time to just get yourself, get yourself out there, get the food you need for like, just cut up lots of vegetables or fruit, whatever it is. And you can make a soup with the vegetables. And soups are great. You can add anything to that. That's healthy. You'll always get great nutrition from soup. The broth is healthy. The vegetables are healthy. If you eat meat, the meat obviously is a great, lean meat is a great protein. And if you can afford organic, but to answer your question, you dedicate a time for that. Especially if you know you're very often and most of the time not feeling well, you have to
Okay.
dedicate a time for that. It's a self-love practice, and you just can't. The alternative is there is no alternative. You need to
Right.
eat.
So 60 consecutive days until it becomes
Yes,
my new habit. Okay.
yes, but that's not going to the grocery store every day for 60 days, right?
Right. Every
Small.
Sunday, let's say, or whenever I have that energy to invest
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, on a day that if you have a typical day that's a little less stressful than others, or that you feel more at peace with, with that day, just, that's going to be an easy day, then that's the day to just push yourself and do it and say, I'm doing this. Why? Why am I doing this? That's the next thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm glad you asked that question. Did anyone else want to ask me anything before we move on? No? Okay. No questions. Okay, so that's fine. So the next thing is to do things with intention. It's so important, and I'm glad we jumped right into that, because when you are loving yourself, you're naturally also at peace with yourself, and you feel okay with yourself inside. And loving yourself is a practice. It doesn't happen naturally. You can't just tell yourself forever, I love me, I love me, I love me, and I'm going to love me. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. A lot of people may tell you, just love yourself. You actually the more you actively care for yourself, like preparing these healthy meals, like saying, giving yourself that massage, give yourself that massage, give yourself that time for reflection, for gratitude, for meditation, for that bath, or for that, whatever pampering, be it small or big, buy yourself that gift, whatever it is. And you say, I'm worth that. I'm not guilty for spending that money. I'm worth that. I'm worth it. Those gifts exist to be given to people. So if I treated myself to that perfume or to that necklace or to that, whatever it is you love, it could be anything at all. It exists because for you, that was meant to be yours. So practice loving yourself in every little way. And a lot of that can be intentional action. Okay. Exactly. Okay. I love that. When you're just exercising, you move, your body is as much a part of you, right? We don't want to move. Oh, when we're stressed, we don't want to move. Some people de-stress by moving. They run, they walk, they move. And that's also a way to de-stress. But for others, it's the exact opposite. You don't want to move. So when you're stretching your body and you're just getting that blood flowing, it naturally increases the blood flow to your mind. So you become more creative. And also that blood flow, that circulation throughout your body it allows your body to stay more fluid and more healthy in general. The better your circulation, the healthier your internal organs, the healthier your systems, the quicker you'll heal. So in addition to the healthy food habits that you start for yourself, and mind you, real foods, of course, is the best, the whole foods, but they have found ways to make whole foods into powder, and to make whole foods into supplements, and to make whole foods into other things. So if you can't get the full spectrum and whole foods, just know that you can absolutely, and it's great. You can supplement with, there are so many types of brands out there, and I'm not going to recommend any specific one, because there are so many great ones out there that don't have additives, that are just like basically whole foods that have just been in a powdered form. You can supplement with any of those and you'll feel great and you'll have the energy you need to move your body, to stretch, to, yoga's become, very popular and very cliche lately, but there may be a type of yoga out there for you that you haven't tried yet. And just keep your body moving, because your body contains your soul. Your soul is in your body as long as you're here, right? And of course, you are greater than your body, but your existence in this lifetime, it depends on that body of yours. So you gotta love it, right? You love it, big, small, heavy, light, any shape, any package, any gift wrapping you come in, love it. Because when you take care of yourself, you put on that shirt that you love. It's for you. It's not to impress anyone. It's for you. It's part of loving yourself. You look in the mirror and say, wow, I like the way I look in that. And I like the way I feel right now. I just stretched my legs and oh, that felt good. My back was stiff and I just cracked it. And it felt good because I was doing a nice stretch and it was a healthy stretch. So whatever it is, that is also it becomes part of your daily routine. It becomes a habit and it will keep you at peace because you are at peace with what you're doing in that moment. Life is a culmination of moments of each day. There is no amazing future out there. We all know that. I'm speaking to all of you who already know that. Okay, you're waiting for a day that doesn't exist. No, you're not. We all know that each day, if you're going to make a change, it's now. There's only now. Michael said that in one of the interviews. There's only now. It's true. Like, is it ever not now, right? He said. So it's never not now. So if right now we're feeling bad, we can choose right now to do something to help us feel better. Whether it's that stretch, whether it's that walk, whether it's that small pampering, whether it's that reminding ourselves that we're okay. Not that we are okay in the sense that we as human beings are okay in our essence. That's what I mean. Okay. Not that you're feeling okay in the moment. Okay. You can help yourself to feel okay in the moment by realizing that you are okay, that you as a human being, no matter how you were raised, no matter what you went through, you are still okay. You are still whole. You are still a wonderful, lovable, beautiful diamond of creation. And all your experiences just shape that diamond into whatever shape and angles of light it reflects. That's just beautiful. It helps you become more of whoever you are meant to be. Okay. So moving on, the next thing I wanted to put out there was, okay, we spoke about what adjustment, just one small step can I make right now that would make other things in my life easier. Okay, I'm going to put that here for everyone. 1 second. Oh, there's somebody still waiting to come in. All right, so you can also write this down, because what happens is there's something called the 80-20 rule. So for those of you who this is a new concept for, our life runs on 80-20. They say that 90% of success is just showing up. And they say that your life is a domino effect. So if you change 20% of something, the other 80 will change with it. So there's usually a foundation for something in your life. Okay? So if something's not going right, it's usually connected to something else. And there's usually, like, you can imagine branches, and it all comes down. That 80% up here is connected to 20% of something here. And when you move that, shift it, or take it away, all that 80 changes. It either moves or falls or just changes. So what is that 20%? Okay, what can you do that will change the 80. And that's something you need to think about. What's going on in your life, that if you make a small change, everything else will change with it. I'll give a small personal example. When I was with my partner, and he was just very, very upset all the time and expected so much of me. And I would always try to make him happy. Okay, always. I would do it. Whatever. You want this? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. And it didn't matter. Okay, somebody else is calling me. And somebody wants my attention. Okay, I'll give it to them. Okay, my kids want me to put on the shoe and cook the dinner and also, get that over, bring that to him. And I was just going nuts. And then when I did it, something was wrong. Why? Because I was spreading myself too thin, right? I was trying to do 5 things at once. I couldn't do anything well. And of course, my partner, my husband, was not happy. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to do this. I just decided to stop, freeze, pause, time out. I'm not going to do this. That was my 20%. I said, I'm deciding I'm not going to do this anymore. I decided I'm not going to cook gourmet meals anymore. I'm just not going to try to cook gourmet meals anymore. I stopped doing the laundry. Guess what happened? My husband started to do the laundry. Who would have thought? He didn't even know how to use the washing machine. I mean, honestly, anything in your life, if something is bothering you that much and you just decide, I'm not going to do it anymore. Truly, truly, things have a way of working themselves out. They really do. The world will not fall apart. But if I don't do this, then the bills won't get paid, and my kids won't get to school, or my kids are grown, so we won't have that connection. They won't stop calling me, and then I'll never hear from them. I want my kids to call me. Or you're afraid of whatever it could be. This catastrophe is usually much, much smaller, and it's not a catastrophe in reality. It's what we imagine things will be if we stop. But if we stop trying to control everything, and we stop saying to ourselves, we can make all of it better. We put in all the effort, 100% me. But it's not. It's not me. You understand? It's not you. When you give space to others to be able to do what they are asking of you, they do it. They're capable of doing it. The only reason they keep coming to you to do whatever it is they're bothering you for is because they know that you're probably going to go out of your way to do it. And because they can. Because you keep saying yes. If this resonates with you, okay? Sometimes that small change, whatever it is, that habit that you're used to doing, take it away. That small thing. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm just not going to cut the crust off my kids' bread anymore. See what happens. They may end up making their own sandwiches, not because you said I'm not going to make sandwiches, but maybe because they're going to cut their own crust off their bread, and maybe they'll just decide to take their own fruit as well. And you know what I'm saying? You'll find that your life will work out much easier that way. So change the 20% and watch the 80% fall into place. All right. So that's the 80-20 rule. Does anyone have an idea? Want to give an example either in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and tell me what 20% you think you can change in your life that would affect many others like a domino?
Well, I can share. Actually, it almost feels like it is 80% versus 20. I am the middle child, so I have always been, we are 3. I have always been the primary care provider, the responsible, the high-driven, ambitious for our parents, besides my own family. So here we are with a 95-year-old father who is demented. He has incontinence problems, all of that. So my brother took him in a nursing facility. He was not doing well, so I decided to bring him home. Guess what? 24/7, it's a lot of big responsibility on me. especially with a COVID when we don't want to bring people in the house to support. Well, here I am. I broke my shoulders 2 weeks ago. I was doing my reformer Pilates, if it makes sense, trying to stay healthy. But anyway, I had an accident with the reformer in my own space. And well, guess what? Now my sister, who is in the area, all of a sudden she took dad to her space. Yeah, I have a condo. Yes, I don't have the space you have. Yes, blah, 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 all of that. But boy, I had to injure myself to this level to pull myself back, or even for my sister to see and step in and take total charge. So it's unfortunate, but it had to be this way. So I don't know. I'm going to be out of function for quite a while, but obviously she's doing well.
Okay.
She is doing, even though it's in a condo facility, still she's handling him okay.
Okay, so you see that she could do that, and maybe she didn't even know she could do that until she ended up feeling like she had to. But, it's unfortunate that you had to have a negative thing happen to make a positive consequence. It's not, doesn't
Exactly.
always work that way. We can also intentionally create positive change without the negative, right? Without the
Exactly.
pain. So if it's planned in advance, sorry about that. My children just got a new toy. So, all right, you might hear that go off, but yeah, we can actually intentionally create the change. So if you can turn it around, you could actually change something else in your life with the same amount of force without needing an excuse to do so. Thank you. Yeah, you. Thank you. It just has a mind of its own. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's haunted. Okay, so I've got these crazy toys here. All right, so no more interruptions. Pardon. All right, so yes, that's wonderful. Okay. Would anyone else like to share an idea they have for their 20% change that could be an idea that they want to put into effect intentionally? Okay. Carol, was there something you wanted to say? Okay. Maybe the toy scared some people. All right. All right, that's fine. So, all right. Very good. All
I
right,
guess
so
something else, if I can say, that I have noticed when we receive those I'm an educator, and emails come from administrators, and I have noticed, and I am intentional not to jump in immediately to answer questions or to provide strategies to resolve ABC. So I kind of pull back and I allow others. And sure enough, it may feel a little bit awkward for a little bit. It might take a couple of hours, but somebody else does come in to respond to the questions being asked. So that's a small 20% that I've noticed, that I hold back and I allow someone else to function rather than be the first one to respond. So I'm intentional to delay until someone else steps in.
mhm. The light will fill.
Yep.
When you pull you make the space, the light naturally pours in, right? It reaches so there you go. Everyone is equally capable. There's no one who's incapable. And so it's possible to just allow people to shine that way. And actually, your life will be much more easy for it. And this is for everybody listening. When you let somebody else in your life shine, they actually do. Because a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. Sometimes it seems like they're being overbearing or controlling. And what they're really doing is it's really expressing their insecurity. They just may not feel confident to be able to do whatever it is they're asking you to do. So they say, well, why don't I just let that person do it? They know how to do it, they'll do it. And so it just reinforces their own insecurity. But suddenly, if they do it, suddenly they gain confidence that they didn't know they had. So actually, letting go can be helping others feel empowered. Okay. All right. The next question, I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat for those who aren't able to open up the document. Okay, so which technique from the December 20th mentoring series, for those who heard some of the speakers, resonated with you the most? Which technique that was presented is one that you feel would affect the most change for you personally? You can write it in the chat. Okay, we had Rich's 3 steps. We had Dr. Lisa's ROAR program. We had Michael's going the Well of Light, and he had a program also that he advertised. But he had the 30-day meditation challenge, which if you saw it, you got it for free. That was another technique. Going into your body was Dr. Levine's, and of course, transcendental meditation, Bob Roth. I wanted to know, we know already that one of them resonated a lot. Lori is a big fan of Bob's. Yeah. So has anyone else tried any of these and found that one works over better than the others? Okay. All right. So if you find something that works really well for you, I would love for you to reach out and let me know. I'd be happy to know what works best for each of you. I highly recommend, because there were free gifts included in this, try them. Because if it's free and it's going to help you, why not? I know there's so much for free. In fact, when I've done this and I did these summits, I saw that it was just, I didn't, it was like, when am I going to try all of this? I want to do it all. I want to do it all now, right? When am I going to do it? So they all are effective. The question is, which one resonates most with you? Okay.
And where can we have access, since I've missed all of that?
Oh, I hope you didn't miss all of it. Yeah, they were on for the times that they were on. And at this point, those that didn't win it have it available for purchase at still an excellent rate. Yeah.
Okay.
Their value is over $1,000. And I say that with full confidence. And the maximum price, I think, for the last summit is now 97. And the one before that is 57. It's a bit less. And the one before that is also 97 at this point. And that was from September. That was 21 speakers. We had Dr. Carter. We had Dr. Andrea Pennington. We had some amazing people speak at that one. Yeah. All right. So let's see. The next question, I think we already discussed that. What morning habits are getting me off to a bad start? We kind of tapped on what we can do for a good start. Which ones are getting you off to a bad start? You should write that down for yourself. I'll give you a minute to write that down, because it's that much more effective in getting rid of them when you actually write them down. The brain processes it differently than when you just think about it and you kind of sort of know what it is. Write it. 1 minute. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next question. Now it's the opposite. What 3 new morning habits am I willing to incorporate daily? Okay, you have those who already have very healthy morning habits, you're set for the day. If you would like to incorporate 3 others, be my guest. If you don't have 3 yet, write them down. That's the next question. What 3 new morning habits am I willing to incorporate daily? We've discussed many, so you can pick what resonates for you and commit to that. Commit to those morning habits. And by the way, coffee isn't a bad thing. A lot of people gave coffee a bad rep when I was growing up, and actually the latest studies, if they're anything to go by, say that coffee in general is pretty healthy if you don't add, if it's pure coffee and you don't add like a lot of extras to it. You know, black coffee, for example. It's okay. 1, 2 cups a day is supposed to be quite healthy. Of course, if you have high blood pressure, I'm not recommending caffeine at all. But for those of you who have generally healthy systems, it's supposed to be quite healthy.
At least I consider it to be my self-care. I just need it. I will not drink alcohol or anything like that, but that is my treat in the morning.
Yeah, you're welcome to look forward to your coffee. I know there was
Yep.
some people saying, "Oh no, I know I just drink herbal tea or I just drink regular tea or whatever works for you. Whatever works for you." And if coffee is good for those who love coffee and for whom it works to stimulate your brain functioning, because it does. Caffeine does stimulate. For those who want to actually love the calming effect of herbal tea, which is also very healthy, you have medicinal herbal teas as well. So if you find that one is recommended for you and it's going to help your body tremendously, start your day off with that, by all means. There are so many different herbal teas. Look into that. There may be one that really helps your digestion, or one that really helps um, your breathing. Yeah, so that you can breathe more deeply, and they're safe in general. Like, there's herbal teas in general are safe. Obviously, if your doctor says you can't have one, then don't. But I would look for kinds that really help you. So coffee, tea, whatever it is. And I usually take mine with rice milk that has no additives. My body doesn't. I can eat dairy, but it's not good for me, so I avoid it. And so for those who want good alternatives, there's wonderful alternative milks, not soy necessarily, but rice milk, almond milk, coconut milk. They've come out with all kinds. They've milked everything. You don't have to just milk a cow anymore. You can milk everything. You can milk fruit and vegetables. You can get all kinds of milk that's good for you. And it tastes really good too. They come in flavors. Stevia is something I've been using for years without any negative side effects. And it's replaced most of my sugary, because I love sweet stuff. So I use pure stevia, either extract or powder. And that works well also for cooking. It's very sweet though, morning, very, very sweet. Okay, question number 7. Okay, question number 7, when will I dedicate 10 minutes each day for me? Be specific. Me time is not for eating. I wrote that there because it's not for eating comfort foods or massages. It's for meditation, gratitude, affirmations, focusing on nature, all the things that we've discussed. Okay, that's true loving me time. Oh, okay. All right, here. 2 people enter. Okay. Here, let me copy that and paste that for here. Second. There you go. That's question number 7. Okay, for those who just entered, welcome. We're still on, amazingly. This has been a wonderful meeting so far, and we're just having a very laid back, casual discussion here. Question number 7 was just presented, and we're discussing when we dedicate 10 minutes each day just for ourselves to refocus. It could be at your best time of the day if you're a morning person or an evening person, you decide, or a middle of the day person. You take those 10 minutes and decide, write down. Okay, these are questions that were intended to be written down. The actual copy of the worksheet is up in the chat. You can either click on it and it should download right away, or there's a link that's hyperlinked that would open up the sheet as well with all the questions on it. So for those who couldn't open it for whatever reason, I'm copying the questions here. So it's 2 more minutes. You can just write down, when will I dedicate this time for myself? Okay, write down that hour, that minute. It's like 12:15. That's going to be my 10 minutes every day, and stick to it. That's my 12:15. You don't get hard on yourself if you miss it once, once in a blue moon. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything 100%, but this is your commitment. This is your goal. This is what you're aiming for. This is your small step. This is my 10 minutes every single day. And in those 10 minutes, I know I'm going to take a look at this funny thing, or read that heartwarming thing, or I know that I'm going to check whatever. Maybe there's a Facebook group that's makes you happy to get news on. I love this type of animal, and you check that group for that type of animal, and somebody has a funny picture of that animal. You're just like, oh, I love this. What a creative thing, for that. Whatever it is that makes you feel so good, that's your 10 minutes. Do some breathing. And so now we're going to give this 30 more seconds. Okay, we should be done by now. What you've chosen should be something that will have long-term effects. Why I said no comfort foods or massages, because massage is very healthy. I'm all for it. I'm a certified reflexologist as well. But massage in general makes you feel good for a moment. So if it's just like 2 second, oh, I'm just, okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Something that has long-term effects. Meditation does have long-term effects. Meditating on anything, in fact, does. Giving yourself affirmations, if they help for you, that has long-term effects. You're literally retraining the way you're thinking. Some people say, I don't like affirmations. I know I'm lying to myself. Well, you don't have to lie to yourself. You can actually say, you know what, this is the truth. Give yourself affirmations that are true. You're welcome to make them bigger. You know you're a good person. Okay, you need to know that. So then you can say, I'm a tremendously generous person. I'm a super generous person. Shael, you are a very generous person. You can embellish it, but definitely they're helpful. And the more you have that, the more you tell yourself positive things, the more you'll start to believe it. Okay, so I love this. Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay. So, yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, helpful tea. Somebody wrote to me here about helpful tea, and it definitely helps when you've been traumatized. There are teas that actually can calm the anxiety. You can look that up and see which one works for you. And then somebody wrote me here. Okay, yes. Okay, so Carol. Okay, daily list. Feel satisfaction or good to have done one good thing. You breathe, you work your body. Yeah, body focus and with attention to light. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so on that
So,
note, I would
does
like,
she, I'm sorry, what does Carol mean by attention to light?
Carol, would you like to answer that? You can unmute yourself and respond.
Um, just to positive things and yes, the light and goodness and just as a general theme. So very positive thought.
Okay. Okay. So similar to feeling gratitude in your heart, would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, and on that note, I love it. We said breathe. I would like to do that. The breathing technique that we did together, myself and Bob Roth, I'd like to bring it to you here. Since many of you haven't seen these yet, I would like to just bring it on over. So it's kind of square breathing technique. It's 4 seconds in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we start again. I would like to give ourselves enough time. I'm going to do this 3 times, and I'd like you to do it along with me. And when I'm done, I'll just open my eyes and wait until everyone else is with me. Okay, I'd love to see if you turn your webcams on, I can then see when everyone's done. If you can do that, that'd be great. If not, then not. So let's start. Yes, hello. Okay. So how did that feel? Just breathing. Okay, I see the smiles. That's beautiful. Yeah. Oxygenating yourself is the first defense against stress and the first step back to inner peace. So that's like a first aid, if you will. You can always just stop. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of screaming your point. You can always just stop. Say, I'm going to breathe now, and I'll get back to this argument later. And you just breathe. Do that 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds hold. You can do that even, the minimum would be probably 5 times, and 10 times is ideal. By 10 times, your brain, your body, your fight or flight, which is really what you're in when you're fighting or arguing or really tense and feel like you need to do something really quick, when that urge happens, it just resets your whole body. Your body will produce healthy hormones after that breathing that will naturally calm yourself down. And having just the additional extra oxygen and the pausing will help you calm down. I don't know um, which response, which automatic stressor response you go into, but so many go into not breathing. You don't know how many times I have been upset with my children or my husband, and right away I'm like, I'm yelling, and I'm just like, you got to do this. You got to do this now. You got to do this right now, and it because of this X, Y, and Z, and I just find myself saying what they need to do and yelling, and I realized I have been yelling for about how long, and I have not been breathing. How did I get that breath? I don't even know. I don't know where it came from. And that's part of the tension, because I realized I wasn't breathing. And when you're not breathing, your body automatically is afraid. Your whole body is scared. Your body's like knocking on your brain saying, I'm scared. So, in addition to whatever you're actually yelling about or stressed about or nervous about, you have that additional physical stress, your nervous system alerting your brain that you're in real danger when you don't breathe. So use the technique. It's a very simple one and very easy to employ anywhere. All right. So now that you have that under your belt, the next question is number 8 on this worksheet, which you can, again, if you're new here, you can click on it. It's upper and it's in the chat. It's the innerpeace.docx worksheet. You're welcome to click on it, download it. Okay, so who suffers the most if I don't give myself inner peace? And this is so important. This is where we take it from a concept to putting it into practice. Somebody is on the line. Who's that person or those people who will suffer the most if you don't live your life with inner peace? Write it down. You don't have to tell me. You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. Melissa, sure. I'm going to reattach the file again because we have been talking a lot in the chat. There you go. You can just click on that. It says innerpeace.docx. Click on it and it should download automatically onto your device. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. So many are in this position. So many are in this position. I'm so happy to hear that because we are connected now with Zoom. Honestly, we are all essentially, we live our lives alone. We're social beings. We love to connect with people. We feel like we need our partners, our children, our family members, and our loved ones, and our friends, and our work, our colleagues. We feel like we need them because by nature we're social creatures. But life, in essence, we live it alone. Our lives are our responsibility. Achieving our goals are, we're here for a purpose, each and every one of us, and that is a unique purpose that no one else can give to us, no one else can fulfill for us. And so the days of our lives are really up to us to make each one count, to make them last how long we want to be on this earth. We're alone. So if you're feeling isolated right now from other people, physically alone, it's really, what's the right word for this? There's a metaphysical sense, and then there's the actual sense. And the reality of it all is that whether you're physically alone now or you're with 10 people in your home or more, you're still alone. We're all still alone until we reach out and connect with each other. And the fact that we are on a computer still very much connected and intimate with each other right now means that it doesn't matter how much distance there is between myself on all of you and all of each other. You are impacting each other as if you're right next to each other. And that's something to remember when you're feeling all alone or lonely. There's always friends, people that love you. I truly, genuinely care about each and every one of you and appreciate you being here right now. This is your time and it's valuable. Beyond that, you can connect with people who care in different groups. It's a very difficult time for people who don't have the family to support them, whether it's at a distance or physically right next to them. So definitely connect this way and realize you are not alone, no matter how far you are or how physically isolated you are. This world won't tick the way it does without your presence. Your soul reaches far beyond your walls, your home, your town, and your community. Your soul is touching others and affecting the lives of others worldwide. Okay. And I say that in a very literal sense. Okay. There was something else I wanted to touch on. Okay, so you have that very special person that's going to be affected if you don't achieve inner peace. Keep that person in your mind, write it down, write that person's name down and post it around where you are, because it's going to be a reminder of why you need to do this for yourself. You need to be this and do this for yourself, no matter what your circumstance, because that person, and it's usually someone other than yourself, is going to suffer more if you're not at peace. Okay, next we have what will happen to me if I don't achieve inner peace. Okay, there are some answers that we would say are obvious. What would happen to me? Okay, there are others that are not so obvious. Okay, if we leave inner peace as a theory and we say, well, we'll work on it tomorrow, okay, then we don't get it. We'll never get it. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is always today. So if I don't achieve inner peace, what's going to happen to me? What's going to start to happen to me today, and what will it become in a few days, a few weeks, a year, whatever time we're here? Write that down. You should read this list, this document, at least once a week, ideally every day, to remind yourself of these important things. Why you're living the way you're living and what you're living for. And who you're living for. Okay, just write that down, another 30 seconds. If you're still thinking of a person, especially if you're on your own and you don't realize you're affecting anybody, or your life counts affecting anybody. If you're alive and you're functioning, your life affects so many. I promise you. It's a lie if you're telling yourself, I'm alone and my existence doesn't matter. It affects, and powerfully.
And the two questions I have: what am I living for? Who am I living for? And what is the third question?
Okay, what am I living for? Who am I living for? Okay. That wasn't the official question, but it's who will be affected if I don't achieve inner peace. And what will happen to me if I don't achieve inner peace? That was the next one. Okay, there are some, if you want to share, if anyone wants to share the consequences, some of them are big things, some of them may be a little thing, but the big things are going to be the motivator. Okay, I've had people in the past doing this exercise. I've had people say, okay, I'm going to get sick. Okay, so what if you get sick? What happens then? Well, I'm going to develop a chronic illness. It's not just going to be a cold or something. Yes. Okay. So what happens when you have a chronic illness? Like dig deeper, peel the layers of the onion. What is the ultimate thing, right? If I get super sick, then what happens? And then I can't pay my bills. Then I can't work. Then I won't be able to function in such a way that's essential, right? Your life is at stake. Your life is at stake. Your inner peace is your ability to live and to give life. Okay, when you get really down to it. All right, so I'm still, that's why I'm copying and pasting the questions. For those who still can't download it or clicking and it doesn't come down, that's why the questions have been copied and pasted. So just as I ask each question, I'm copying and pasting it as well. Okay, so this is the big question. This is the last question here, and we'll end this worksheet with this. What specifically will I be able to accomplish with increased inner peace? Okay, huge motivator. Okay, what can you accomplish? If you're no longer stressed, if you're no longer in the web of the emotional abuse, if you're no longer thinking about that constantly and how it's, because that's what we focus on, right? When we're in the middle of it, it's a tornado, it's a whirlwind, and every single thing, if you've seen the Wizard of Oz, or everything is spinning around you, and you are and it's hitting you, like that chair is spinning around you and it's whacking you constantly, and you feel like you're going to pass out. If you're in emotional abuse, there are very few things that are worse than that, in terms of impacting a person physically, emotionally. It's up there, which is why that's my focus here. Taking yourself out of that tornado, as Richa said, into the eye of the storm, right? Where everything is going on around you, but you're not hurt, you're safe somehow, but life is still happening. The circumstances haven't changed. People around you haven't necessarily changed, but you're not receiving the blows anymore because you are in a peaceful place. So what would you be able to accomplish when you're in that peaceful place?
I think I'd be able to exercise more in the morning, and that would be really nice. I'm more of a morning person, so I would get to do everything in the morning, which would be, I'm single, so it would be way more self-time. It would be great.
Okay, Roberta, thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, being able to exercise anytime, if you are in a peaceful place, your body will be energized and you'll be able to exercise. What a wonderful way to maintain your health and to get those endorphins up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it can work both ways. When you exercise, you become more peaceful. We discussed that as a habit. And when you are more peaceful, you can exercise more. I know for myself, I'm actually the opposite. When I feel better, then I'm more motivated to dance and to exercise. And when I'm not feeling so great, I don't do the things I love, right? I don't want to move. So everybody's different, but whatever can contribute to your well-being, and exercise, absolutely, it'll help you here and here, everywhere. So that's great.
I guess this is Chris. For me, I will be able to have restful nights. I'll be able to sleep better.
Yes. Sleep. We didn't even touch it. How did we miss sleep? Sleep is a big one.
Yep.
When you're in the middle of all this, all the insomnia, waking up at any hour, not being able to fall asleep. Yes. You'll be able to sleep better. Thank you, Chris.
And then I guess I will have more clarity in the day. I know I will feel more able to concentrate, more be able to communicate more clearly, they will really be an easy day. It's that cycle.
Yes, if you know that you've gotten enough sleep, you can look forward to a day where you can function optimally, along
Yep.
with that food, right, that you mentioned before.
Right, right.
Absolutely. You know what? When I don't get enough sleep, I know the next day is shot, and so it's definitely the opposite.
And actually,
Yeah.
the more I think about it, it also shows up in my interactions at work every day. If I am well rested, my face shows it. I am more alert to compliment people, to find out how they're doing. But when I'm just, tired, exhausted, I can care less. And it makes a huge effort for me to be kind and thoughtful.
Okay, so I'm sure many can resonate with that. That's the truth. We give out our vibes. If you're not feeling good, even you don't have to say a word for it to rub off on other people. Uh, yeah, you don't know how many times I've gone to the grocery store and gone shopping, and just when I interact with the other shoppers, passing them by in the aisles, or maybe you brush by somebody or you ask for something, it just shows if you're feeling good or if you're not. They will react to you in turn. And so you can be sitting there, and before I knew all these things I know now, and I learned these things, I'm saying, why is everyone so short tempered with me today? Why is what did I say? Like, I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't give him a dirty look. Like, how come this is happening to me? And the truth is, you are actually emitting vibrations. These are real, and people actually sense them. They're in the. There's no way I can explain this. I'm not. It's not explainable in layman's terms. There are people that can explain this, not me, but it's there. It's real, and they're feeling it. And when you give off the positive vibrations, people will respond to you the same. So your best defense in receiving, you can't, and this, I'm going to put a disclaimer. This is not going to change an abusive person and make that abusive person be all happy and smiley with you if you put good vibrations out there. Okay. It's not, I'm not saying that it's going to do that, but with regular healthy people, as I would say, the majority of people you're going to pass by in the street are pretty much okay. They'll reflect that back to you. And you'll get a lot more smiles as you walk down the street, or a lot more like people willing to give you a helping hand when you're just in a good place yourself. So it's worth focusing and working on yourself first, and you'll get that back. Get that good night's sleep. Get off to a good start in that morning routine that we discussed. And then your day will really be off to a fantastic start. It'll just rocket, in a good direction from there. And each day can be that way. If you started off with what this new word, mindfulness, right? It's become this new word today, but that's what it really is. It's intentional living. Okay. So living in the present, absolutely. I, in recent times, I have started to feel the idea of living in the present. It's such an incredible skill to learn. At the same time, I think it's really important, because this is our nature. We are not our stories, but we are the result of everything that we've experienced in our lives. And I've said that on this call already. So our past, while it's no longer a way to determine how we're going to live our lives today in the future, it is so relevant. Okay? So remember your past. Remember that you've incorporated portions of your past into who you are, and you must love that, because that's part of loving yourself and who you are. And whether you believe we're here for one lifetime or many lifetimes, you bring that past with you from whenever you started your existence until a minute ago, a second ago, whatever it is. So that past is really important. So live in the present, remember your past, and always, always look forward to a bright future. Because when you have a bright future to look forward to, that's going to be your motivator to live today in the present the best you can. All right. Make sure you have a goal that really motivates you. So that's number 10. I think you've all pretty had time to write that down. Anyone want to share what the motivator could be or is for them?
I guess for me, the motivator is I believe in growing constantly. I am a lifelong learner. I guess learn, evolve, develop, become more and more in touch with my past, as you said, my unconscious, and how can I create, enjoy the moment, and look forward, as you said, to a bright future. For me, that's important to just, it is a process, like you said, and that's what I keep on telling my students. These are all skills. We cannot just, we were not born to walk. We learn how to walk. We learn how to read, do math. So for me, all of these are, it's a process that we have to be constantly present, aware, and intentional.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. I don't think there's anything to add to that. That was beautifully said.
She sounds like an educator.
Thank you.
Mhm.
There you go. So yeah, that's an incredible motivator. Thank you for, yeah, definitely write me. I'm happy to hear from you. Thank you, Lori. I'm here for you.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, I also created a meditation that is, it's empowering, it's calming. I recommend listening to it at night, and I recommend just letting it, just being completely allowing yourself to just not even to focus on it, just let it sink in naturally. It has beautiful calming, very healing music, and the dialogue was chosen very carefully. I wrote it to be therapeutic and to recenter, help you recenter. It's like a tiny holiday, if you will. It takes you on this journey that's going to recenter you and help you clear out the clutter that's in your mind, and some of those habits that you want to break. It'll help you break those unhealthy habits and reinforce new ones and new commitments to yourself that we discussed here. And most of all, and the biggest benefit is it will give you that peace that you're looking for, and it's effortless. You just listen to it, right? It's a meditation, so you can use that. How many would be interested in that, by the way? Let me
I
know in the
would.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd listen to it.
Okay. Great. All right. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you for that. Healing starts with learning and healing. Yes. Yes. Learning is the first step. Absolutely. You can, and you know what? Honestly, I started my healing journey with learning too. Once you learn, then you can take action, right? You learn, you absorb, um, you pick out the parts of what you're learning that's relevant for you and that resonates with you, and then you start to heal and put that into action. This is the whole journey, and it starts with the learning. And the change happens ultimately in your life, and you see the effects of it once you take action and make that 20% change. Ultimately, the inner peace comes when you're living your life in this direction that you've chosen. The one that you like, the one that you're proud of, and the one that makes you the person in the driver's seat. I said that in a video, and that's the best analogy I can give. You're in the driver's seat of your life, and you're no longer just, you dragged along by somebody else who's not thinking in your best interest. You're in the driver's seat, so you're at peace with your decisions and your actions. Okay, so I'd be happy to send it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an offer then, and I'm going to send it to everybody on the list. If you haven't heard of it, Holosync is wonderful. It actually helps your brain get onto certain brain waves that are conducive to peace, creativity, and healing. So you can look it up on YouTube, and you can also purchase it. I'm not an affiliate or anything of Holosync. But you can look it up, and it would be a wonderful tool for you to get yourself into a peaceful place. And it works with two sides. So you're best listening to it with some kind of headphone set that covers your ears, and it actually works with both ears, in one ear, one with one wave and the other one with another, so that together they balance and they create the effect that you're looking for. So I highly recommend Holosync. And there are other meditations that are out there that will actually, you can listen to before you go to sleep.
How did you spell that? Excuse me. How
Sure.
did you spell?
Here, it's HOLOSYNC.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
like that. Okay, so that's really great. There are many out there. There's vibrational lifting music, okay, that actually works. You can find some that you can listen to before you go to sleep, and it's not a guided meditation or anything. It's just the music. So you just can put it on and listen to it and fall asleep with it. And literally it will just, while you're sleeping or while you're in that state, falling asleep, drifting off, it will raise your vibrations. It will help you be stronger. I know that was a big part of my healing, because all this talk is great, but that I can't tell you. I mean, how it worked, but it works. And it works very well, and it works very long term. There was one day I woke up and I was not afraid anymore. I wasn't afraid of what was going to happen the next day. I'm still me. It didn't change me in any way, but it just made me feel like when you raise your vibrations, you can attract anything. And suddenly you have a lot of hope, and hope is empowering. And hope in knowing that you actually are, that you are in control of your life, and you can take control of your life if you hadn't previously felt in control. That's also empowering. So raising your vibrations can affect all of it. It creates a widespread change that will help you accomplish everything else you want. If you want more money, if you want a better relationship, if you want if you want a better job, or to be independent, okay, it will, raising your vibrations and listening to this at night, it will give you it will train your mind to focus on what you need to build to create that. You will actually suddenly find yourself with raised vibrations, with the brain power to create these things that you've been desiring for so long, and you really felt stuck and you didn't know how to get them. Suddenly you'll see doors open. You'll see the opportunities that you may not have seen before. It may have been there, but you didn't notice it, you didn't see it. But when you start to raise your vibration, suddenly you see things and you don't pass them by anymore. And then you'll be brave enough to grab the opportunity and open the door. And then your life changes. Okay, so it starts with these baby steps. Okay, that was my last recommendation. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It's been such a pleasure to be with each and every one of you. Thank you for participating. You're welcome. I'm so happy to connect with you. So when you write to me, I'll look out for you, your sessions that you book, and I'll look out for emails. If you want to connect with me, even just send me an email. It's Shael@emotionalabuseeuphoria.com, and I'll look out for you.
Okay, Merry Christmas.
I hate to ask the same question. Hello?
I see the hand raised. Go ahead.
Sorry. I like to ask once again the question, how do you know if you have been emotionally abused? And again, as an educator, this is something that I'm very interested in. You did say if you tend to gravitate towards others, to connect with others, that you find them to be safe, positive connections. The other one you said if you feel lonely as a child. And the third one is if you try to call attention from your parents. Do I remember those correctly?
These are things that I mentioned, but again, everything in context.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
remember the context I put it in, because there are extreme versions of these things. And when they're beyond the normal healthy need for attention, or beyond the normal healthy feeling of loneliness, because every child, if they're alone for some amount of time, will feel lonely. And every child sometimes wants, if they have a mother or father, wants to be close to them. But there's a feeling, there's an extremity. And that's when you see it in your adulthood and your relationships, they reflect it. And so that's when you see that happening in your adult life, you can see, and then through some work, and this is work with coaches and therapists, you can dig back into your childhood and see the evidence. And each person is individual, but you'll dig it up, and you will find evidence of abuse, emotional abuse, usually, sometimes physical abuse or sexual abuse as well. But those are more obvious. You can know as an adult what is sexual abuse that you didn't know when you were a child, for example. You could identify it. Emotional abuse is a bit harder, but emotional abuse also has very real evidences when you're trying to form healthy connections with other adults. You can know you were abused as a child when you go in through doing that work with the professional.
Okay. And of course, as children, when they try to get the attention from the parents, because it is something that I hear quite often, and I just don't buy when the parents say, oh, he just wants to get attention, negative attention. So that is a very familiar phrase for many educators in the school. Or he's just looking for negative attention. But the way I see that, what is the source of the child looking for that negative attention? And that is where I guess I need to do a little bit more exploration on that.
Yes, each case is individual, and children seek attention for many, many reasons. And I can't possibly begin to, and I won't try to guess why any individual child wants more attention than another. The situation at home varies from one to the other, and that's where professionals really need to step in and be there for the child, supportive teachers and other social workers possibly, or other professionals that can be there and who know the family, or who can be there for the family to support them and that child, essentially, because children really reflect on the situation at home between the parents. If you have a healthy parents, a marriage, whatnot, the children will generally be healthy and grow up to imprint in a healthy way. And the opposite is true.
Well, thank you so very much. This was really a well-spent time. And you made my day. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yes.
Okay, sending all of you lots of love. Thank you, Chris, for being such a lovely participant. And thank you, everyone else, for being here, each and every one of you. I'm looking through your names, and I appreciate you joining us. Early, late, doesn't matter. Click on the links that are still here if you want to get the worksheet. Hello there, Melissa. Yes. It's great to see you. And yeah, if you could all next time join me, turn your webcams on. I'd love to see you because honestly, feels good to talk to people and know that you can feel you feel everyone when you see everyone. It just creates a different atmosphere and a much more powerful presentation and also interaction. So it becomes much more interactive and dynamic. Okay, so thank you. Click on the links. I'm going to end this session, but get those links if you came late. Get the worksheet, fill it out for yourself, and reflect on that every single day to affect positive change and get really, really in touch with your own need for inner peace and satisfying that need, because that is your lifeline. That is your lifeline to getting yourself out of this hole of emotional abuse. Okay, achieving that. I love you all, and I will be in touch with you. Look out for my mailings. And as I promised, the meditation, I'll get that to you somehow. I'll present it.
Thank you. That will be a great Christmas gift. Bye-bye.
You're very welcome. Yes. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Bye.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Welcome. Thank you. Bye.